Do you all remember before the 2020 MLB season actually started that the players and the billionaire owners backed by Robert Manfred were pretty much in a civil war of what they wanted? The players wanted prorated salaries, they wanted this, they wanted that, and the billionaire owners said that's never going to happen because we're not retaining any money because we agreed to that only on the premise that there were going to be fans in the stadium. So what did that lead to? A complete 2020 season. Thank the baseball gods that both sides agreed. We got all the way through, even though the Marlins had cases, the Cardinals, and ultimately Justin Turner tested positive. That's a different story for a different day, but we completed the 2020 season. The Dodgers are your World Series champions. But all this time, we kind of forgot that there were still issues arising and they have to get fixed. And according to the billionaire owners, the only way to fix this problem, which as Robert Manfred describes as the biggest debt in Major League Baseball history that could cripple the game of baseball, as an $8.2 billion deficit. What does that mean? If you don't know, MLB is $8.2 billion in debt because fans were not allowed in the stadiums. So what is the solution according to Manfred and all of the owners that he represents? They are going to completely eviscerate and dismantle the middle of the pack in regards to free agency. The Trevor Bauers of the world, the Mookie Betts, as he's already been covered, they're going to be fine. But if we're talking about guys like Charlie Morton, Brad Hand, Kolten Wong, they have been declined an option by their team. Yes, if you're a Cardinals fan, Kolten Wong is no longer a member of the Cardinals as we speak. It makes absolutely no sense, and it's not just Kolten Wong. It's a couple different players. We're going to go ahead and talk about it right now. I mean, even Ryan Braun, he woke up today without a farewell tour from the city of Milwaukee. He was non-tendered. His option was declined. Ryan Braun pretty much just got kicked off the Brewers and no one's talking about it. So a quote I do want to discuss real quick comes from Trevor Bauer. We all know that he stands for the game of baseball almost better than anyone, even, honestly, I don't mean to call him out, but even better than Robert Manfred. He said that it's been a bloodbath, that the middle of the pack in regards to free agents are getting eviscerated. And it's getting so bad, he put out a tweet saying that he is willing to consider any option. So he's putting all of his chips on the table. If it's the Astros, he'll play for the Astros. If it's the Yankees, he'll play for the Yankees. If it's a team in Japan, the NPB, I don't know where that's at, but he's willing to go overseas and play baseball if that's what it takes, because they have 39-year-olds making $5 million. So if that guy's making $5 million and you bring Trevor Bauer over there, I can't imagine how much money a team would throw at him. I know they don't have a ton of money, but it's Trevor freaking Bauer, and if everything is falling apart, that might be the best option. But we'll go ahead and get into the players that surprised me the most in terms of players that were having their options declined. First and foremost, I want to talk about Charlie Morton. The Rays declined his option. Now, I'm bringing this up first because there might be a different side to this story. The Rays general manager said that we're going to try everything we can to resign him, but only if he plays. So if you did not know, Charlie Morton is contemplating retirement. But on the other side, if I'm the GM trying to do everything in my power to get him to resign, I would have extended the option. I would have accepted it as opposed to declining and trying to ask Charlie Morton to take a pay cut as opposed to going into retirement. I don't think that's going to work. Roberto Osuna of the Astros, he was out in August with a right forearm strain. A lot of people thought that he was going to have Tommy John surgery, but after leading the American League in saves just a year ago, it was either 2019 or maybe even 2018, he has been essentially non-tendered by the Astros. So he is a free agent. He can sign wherever he wants. The Astros said, we want nothing to do with you. But here is where I had to make this video, because this makes absolutely no sense. If you would have asked me a month ago who was the one player in the Cardinals that I think would be a guaranteed member of the 2021 Cardinals, it would be Kolten Wong, because he's been there for so long. He plays elite defense at multiple positions. He never strikes out. Not one single time in his career has he ever had a season in which he struck out more than 95 times. And also, Busch Stadium, that's kind of a pitcher's park, so his offensive numbers were a little bit suppressed. But they declined his option. Now, of course, they can re-sign him. I don't think that's going to happen, though, because every other team in Major League Baseball is now licking their chops that they get a Kolten Wong available, whether it's the Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to sign Kolten Wong because they are notorious for picking up older players, or like middle of the road players and rebuilding their career again. Cameron Maybin in 2019 was an absolute monster, and I think that Kolten Wong might be able to fill the shoes at second base from time to time because the Yankees, they have so many injuries. LeMahieu is still decent at second base, but Wong is a once-in-a-lifetime defensive second baseman. He is a wizard over there. So maybe LeMahieu is going to get some days off as a DH. Well, I mean, in 2019, Kolten Wong had 11 home runs, 24 stolen bases. He won a Gold Glove, and they just released him. I know he only had 1 home run in 2020, but this one, I mean, Trevor Bauer was right on the money. If we're talking about the other Kolten Wongs of the baseball world, they are completely screwed. They're going to get non-tendered, they're going to have their option declined, and they're going to be free to go to other teams, which in hindsight is great for the game of baseball because other teams are going to get better. But if you're a Cardinals fan, I would have to say, if I was in your shoes, I would be pretty upset. Now, this next player revolves my team, Brad Hand, cut. We refuse to pay your $10 million option, and they pretty much gave a free gift to the Phillies. If Brad Hand does not end up on the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm not going to bet a large amount. I'll bet $1, okay? I'll put some money on it, but I'm not going to bet too much more than that. Although I'm fairly confident it's going to happen. I think the biggest reason why Brad Hand, an elite closer who in 2020, yes, he choked in Game 2 of the Yankees. He blew a save. And I do have to throw this out there. He's blown a couple saves since the second half of 2019. He's probably taken about 10 years off my life. And if I have any gray hairs, it's because of Brad Hand, and also Cody Allen was not fun as well. But he posted a 2.05 ERA and an even crazier 1.37 FIP. All that means is, how is a pitcher able to prevent home runs, walks, and strike people out? He is one of the best in the game in terms of relief pitchers at doing that. So he's elite in my opinion. However, the Indians don't think so. They think that maybe they can get by with James Karinchak and also Emmanuel Clase. We got him in the Corey Kluber trade. He throws 101, a cutter at 99 miles an hour. It's not really fair, but they're expecting these guys to come in and do their jobs. But if we don't re-sign Oliver Perez, it's kind of all for nothing because we don't have any lefties. So Kolten Wong, option declined. We have Brad Hand, option declined. Even though he's only getting paid $10 million in 2021, the Phillies said, thank you, Bon Appetit. We will definitely take him on our hands. And then the final example, now age might play into this one, but Darren O'Day is a different breed of relief pitchers. He's not throwing 107 miles an hour. He's crafty. He had a 12.1 strikeouts per 9. He was elite in terms of FIP with a 2.76 FIP. And the Braves said, deuces, we don't want to pay you middle of the road salary. They declined his option. So the Phillies are salivating. The Boston Red Sox are licking their chops. The Cubs are saying, is Christmas in October or am I tripping? Honestly, the only thing that I can think of in terms of Darren O'Day is maybe his age. He's going to be 38 years old by the time that the 2021 season is over, but he just had a 1.1 ERA. On the flip side, in the postseason, through his career, he has 10 earned runs in about 20-ish innings, so he hasn't been great in the postseason. Maybe the Braves are thinking, yes, he's a great pitcher, but we're going to be contenders for quite some time, so we need clutch players as opposed to Darren O'Day, who outperformed his contract this very year. So he outperformed his contract, same with Brad Hand, and then got cut. Now, Kolten Wong, he wasn't the best offensively, but still as a defender, you can't get much better as a second baseman than Mr. Wong. I mean, that pretty much does it. Ryan Braun is no longer a member of the Brewers. The Rays declined Charlie Morton and Mike Zunino's options. Now, again, all of these players that I've mentioned today, they still have a chance to re-sign, but I wouldn't want to re-sign with a team that just said, you know what, we don't want to pay you what you're trying to get. We want to get you for a little bit cheaper. I would feel disrespected, especially with how much time and effort Kolten Wong has put into that franchise. I would cut bait. I would go to the Yankees. I would go to the Cubs. I think that he would be great there. And Roberto Osuna, say what you want about him as a person. He's not a great person. We'll leave it at that because I think that we can all agree that his brain in terms of making correct, humane decisions is not always on tight. But there we go. Robert Manfred and an $8.2 billion issue along with all of the other billionaire owners pretty much saying we need to save money, we are going to cut bait, and if we don't have fans in the stadiums next season, it is going to get even worse. The game of baseball might be in jeopardy. I don't think that's the case, but Major League Baseball for sure has a serious problem on their hands. We got to get this fixed. I mean, heck, if you want me to start a GoFundMe so we can pick up Francisco Lindor, I will do that, okay? Because we can no longer trade Francisco Lindor for Corey Seager. That would have been fantastic. The NLCS and World Series MVP. But, yeah, it's not a good day to be an Indians fan. It's not a good day to be a Cardinals fan. Honestly, there are a lot of teams right now that just got worse by cutting bait with some of their superstars, or not superstars, middle of the road, great baseball players. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you later for a different video.